Good afternoon, YouTube. It's me, Brooke Sermon, and here is my reveal of my Thomas OC. As for his design, he is Stepney, but colored in dark red and with blue stripes. And today for today's video, I'm going to be discussing how I would rewrite the nitrogen era of Thomas and Friends, aka season 13 through 16. As a lot of us Thomas fans know, the nitrogen era of Thomas and Friends is considered as one of the worst, if not the worst, era of the show. And in today's video, I'm going to be rewriting all 4 seasons and all 4 movies of the nitrogen era and show how I would improve them. Anyways, let's get started. So, for season 13, the first thing I would fix about season 13 is that I wouldn't use the 3 strikes formula in every single episode, and I would also have the characters be written better, and don't have any of the characters act childish, silly, or dumb, and have the characters be portrayed in their true ways, such as I would have Edward and Toby be old wise engines rather than just idiots or cowardly wimps. And I won't have Thomas act like a total lunatic. And I'd have the train consist be longer, and I would have brake coaches and brake vans be at the end of goods and passenger trains. And I would also have classic characters such as Duck, Donald and Douglas, Oliver, Toad, Dylan, Ben, Boko, Daisy, Stepney, Arian, Bert, Salty, Harvey, Arthur, Murdoch, and Fergus appear in the season. And I would also have hit era characters such as Molly, Neville, Jeremy, Dennis, Billy, Stanley, Hank, and Flora appear in the season. And I'd also make and devote more episodes to the secondary characters such as Rosie and Stanley. And for the season, I would also have Hank and Flora appear in the season as well, and I would also have the new characters be written better, such as I would have Charlie be written better, and I would have the season be 30 episodes long instead of 20 episodes long, and I would also have the animation be more better. Now on to Series 14. For Series 14, I would have I would get rid of the episodes Pop Goes Thomas's Tall Friend, Pop Goes Thomas, and Thomas in Charge, and replace them with different episodes. And I would have the first 10 episodes of Season 14 be a part of Season 13 as they were originally planned. And just like with last time, I would also have classic and hit era characters such as Duck, Donald and Douglas, Oliver, Bill and Ben, Boko, Daisy, Stepney, Arthur, Murdoch, Fergus, Molly, Neville, Dennis, and many other characters appear in the season as well. And I would also make more episodes devoted to the secondary characters rather than just always focusing on the Steam team all the time. And I'll also have the writing of the episodes be better, and I won't overuse the 3 strikes formula to the point where it gets annoying, redundant, and predictable. And I'd also have more dynamic camera shots in the season rather than just overusing the same ones over and over again. And I'd have the first 10 episodes of Season 15 be a part of Season 14. And I'd have the season be 30 episodes long instead of 20 episodes long. Now on to Season 15. For Series 15, I would get rid of the awful episodes like Wonky Whistle and Up, Up, and Away, and replace them with different episodes. And I'd have the season be 30 episodes long. Have the classic characters like Duck, Donald, Douglas, Oliver, Bill, Ben, Boko, Daisy, Stepney, Arthur, Fergus, etc., as well as the hit era characters like Molly Neville, Dennis, Billy, Hank, Flora, etc. appear as well, and I'd also make more episodes devoted to the side cast as well, and I'd also have the episodes be better written, and I'd also have the first 10 episodes of season 16 be a part of season 15 instead, and I'd also have and I'd also give Pac give Paxton and Norman speaking roles in the season, and have Sydney appear in the season as well, and I'd make episodes about them as well to flesh out their characters, so that kids and general audiences will get to know their characters in the series. I would also bring, and that's what I would do and I'd have the season be 30 episodes long instead of 20 episodes. Now on to season 16. For series 16, the first thing I would do is that I would have I would make more, give the narrow gauge engines more episodes. I'm thinking that the perfect way for the narrow gauge engines to have more episodes in season 16 would be to have the first half of the season be devoted to narrow gauge stories, and have the second half of the season be all standard gauge stories, just like what series 4 did. Albeit this time I'll add a few standard gauge stories in between the narrow gauge stories to even out the number of standard and narrow gauge stories. And I'll also have the classic characters appear: Duck, Donald, Douglas, Oliver, Bill, Ben, and Boko, Daisy, Stephanie, Arthur, Murdoch, Fergus, etc., as well as the hit era characters: Molly Neville, Dennis, Dennis, Billy, Hank, Flora, etc. And I would also have Don't Bother Victor be the first episode of the season, rather than the 18th episode of the season. And I would also make more episodes about the side characters, and I would have Duncan, Duke, Bertram, Mighty Mac, and Freddie be in the narrow gauge episodes. And for the Christmas Tree Express, I would replace Toby and Rheneas with Flora and Luke, just so that both Toby and Rheneas aren't out of character. And I'd also remove Soda Surprise Day and replace it with a different episode. And I'd also have all the episodes be better written. And I'd also have some season 17 episodes be a part of the season. The season 17 episodes that would be moved to the season would be Gordon Runs Dry, Kevin's Cranky Friend, Steamy Stafford, Wayward Winston, and Not Now Charlie, as well as the Thomas Way, so that Duck has an episode in season 16. And I'll also have the season serve as a more better finale to the Nitron era, and I'll have the season be 30 episodes long instead of 20 episodes long. Alright, now that we've discussed how I would fix the seasons, now I'm going to discuss how I would fix the movies. First one, Hero the Rails. I would rewrite Hero's backstory, as instead of Hero being the first engine on Sodor, Hero was instead an engine brought to run the Kirk Ronan branch line, but how during the time of the 1940s. But however, over time, Hero became old and worn out, and eventually Hero was forgotten about and lost to time. And I would also remove the whole thing of Hero fearing that he'll be scrapped, as Sir Topham Hatt would never scrap any of his engines. And I'd also have more characters appear in this movie. These characters being Duck, Donald, Douglas, Oliver, Toad, Bill and Ben, Boko, Daisy, Stepney, Arthur, Murdoch, Fergus, Molly, Neville, Dennis, Whiff, Salty, Billy, Stanley, Hank, and Flora appear in the film as well. And I would also I would also give Stanley a significant role in the film, and I would also have Great Waterton appear in the film, and I would also give Annie and Clarabelle some speaking roles in the movie. Now on to Misty Island Rescue. The first thing I would change is that I would flesh out the Logging Locos characters more, and I would also change their personalities to make them more better. Such as I would have Ferdinand sort of be like the Edward or the Boko of the Misty Island trio, as Ferdinand would be the kind, strong and patient, but sometimes dim-witted, wise voice of reason of the group, and Bash Bash would be the young shy timid member of the group, whilst Dash will be the more speedy, will be the more cocky, boastful, and speedy member of the group. And I'll also flesh out Captain's character more, and use the Sodor Search and Rescue team more often. And I'd also have the Sodor construction team, aka the Jack and the Pack team, appear in the movie, and I would have Jack and Elfie help dig dirt and debris out of the tunnel to help dirt and debris out of the Misty Island tunnel, and I would also fix Misty Island a lot as well, and make this film more better. Now on to Day of the Diesels. Now for the first thing is that I would change is that I would give Paxton a character arc in the movie, in which at first Paxton is quite paranoid and suspicious, as if he should be siding with Diesel 10, but Paxton ultimately decides to have a change of heart and redeem himself, and Sydney and Norman would also redeem themselves, and I wouldn't have Sydney be stuck on a hoist, and Sydney would already have a set of wheels, and I would also have Dennis and Splatter Dodge appear in the movie as originally planned, and I would also flesh out Belle and Flynn's characters more, and I would also have more diesels be involved with the takeover of the steam works. These diesels being D261, D199, as well as a few other bad diesels, and rather than the diesels goofing off in the diesel works, they would instead destroy the diesel works and completely try and destroy the place, so that the steam engines can feel the same pain and misery that they do. And I would also have Boko, Daisy, and many other nice diesels appear in the film as well, and they would side with the steam engines. And I would also have Percy be more better written, and I would also tone down the railway racism, and I would also include a post-credit scene for Blue Mountain Mystery. Speaking of that movie, that brings us on to the final chapter, Blue Mountain Mystery. The first thing is that I would change is that I would get rid of the infamous scene where the narrow gauge engines get mad at Thomas, because honestly, this scene, if you watch the movie and skip over the scene, you pretty much wouldn't miss anything in the movie. And I'll also flesh out Owen and Merrick's characters more, and I would also have Duncan, Duke, Bertram, Mighty Mac, and Freddy appear in the film as well, and I would also include a post-credit scene for King of the Railway as well, and I would also make this movie feel more awesome and epic, and I would also include a scene where Thomas asks both Molly and Flora if they've seen yellow engines, because, well, obviously they're both colored yellow. And that's how it fixed the nitrogen era. If you like this video, go comment and subscribe to my channel. Bye!